Fold. Fold.
Mormon has never seen a 7-6 suited he didn't like.
It's a beautiful hand.
It's a tricky spot for Michaela. Might give it a little think. Careful, man. You almost folded right into Mormon's hand. Andrew with the ace-queen, he is now down to 17.5 big blinds. Have to imagine this is going in, especially after the last hand, the way it played out.
Yeah.
3.6 million.
Okay. Leaving a little bit back, but mostly all in.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Have to leave a chip back when you're on the bubble. So if your opponent puts you in, you can tank it off. Give yourself the best chance at a page up. Oh, no. This is brutal for AJ.
Yeah.
I might not have that much, so you still got to count it. In case I don't have that much. Oh, of course. Yeah. By accident or something. Count?
God, what a rough sequence of events for him. Just making a tight decision with the pocket tens and getting max pain there.
Now Edward with 13 million. He still has Chris in the pot. Serhi behind him.
I think given the size of Andrew's jam, Edward just plays
7.1.
his whole range as a call. I'm not sure if he needs to re-raise, but he decides to just
Oh, okay.
pile the chips in.
He does 4-bet. 7.1 million.
The result will be the same here. The idea is that if you have something like pocket tens or pocket jacks, right? Maybe even ace-king offsuit, given how deep we are in the tournament. Chris won't be putting the rest of the chips in light, so you can get away from some of the weakest holdings that you would cold call
Time to
this
take a break.
all in against.
How many do you have?
That hand just
8.
got dealt.
I don't know how many I'm going to use. He used to use 5 of them.
AJ just letting the table know, okay, take a couple minutes of a break. I'm going to go through my time banks.
Appreciate the reports.
Every player, once we get down to this point in the
Just makes it
tournament,
quick
given
and
time
throw.
bank
Yeah,
chips
tell me
per
something.
level. And each one of those chips in his hand is worth 30 seconds of time, I
Yeah, I'm
believe.
obviously playing. It just saves everyone the minutes if I, you know. it's on both.
You're about 3?
This is such a devastating situation for AJ. We saw him navigate so well all day.
Yes.
May we use
In
simple?
just 2 hands. This is
simple.
tournaments, though. The blinds go up. You had a big
So
stack. The
different.
blinds go up. You know, you make one possibly incorrect decision. I could be wrong. Maybe it's better to peel there, but
Gems.
and the run out just comes in such a way that you lose the maximum or very close to the maximum. And then you find a very easy jam over a loose opener, and somebody behind just wakes up with the cooler.
I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to have to make a loose call. I think you got the best hand, but I'll make a loose call at this point. Yeah.
You want to keep your
I got a whole orbit too.
quarter?
Just
got a
fold
whole
and save
orbit.
the 50, bud.
I got a whole orbit. You know.
And you get the ante.
I could pick up
50K in
25K,
chips,
just
worth
sell 'em busted, that's
25K
6 hands.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a tight fold.
At
How's
this
it going?
point, it's very easy to see the 2 outer tables
I mean,
if anybody has lost someone or in the process of being all in.
really, it's not though. I mean, like, you know, technically, yeah.
Especially frustrating for
I'm just trying to like save
AJ
time,
because
whatever.
he might think if Edward had something like ace or kings, he just calls to trap, and if he has
Like
something like jacks or tens, he just calls to get away if Mormon shoves. So now
I mean, it's
He knows he's
Definitely
probably
technically
just
right.
up against ace king, which is the worst hand for his ace queen to see outside of ace.
I'm going to show you now. One more when it gets to 0 or one more already? So it was 4 right now. And then, all right. So now 5. Now 5? Okay.
Again, 24 remain. I get $121,000. 23rd gets 146 grand.
I am by no means rooting against Edward, but I would love to see AJ stick around. He's been so much fun to watch. Chat, on the other hand, has some strong opinions one way or the other about AJ being eliminated.
Call.
And he finally does toss in the remaining 2 green chips.
Look.
You'll
Should
see
have
the bad
lose.
news. Ace queen against Edward's ace king.
Pretty good at hitting queens, though, usually.
Let's just get a nice little 4-4,
Close
5-5,
battle, 14
7
versus
run out.
15.
How about that? No pain for anyone.
That'd have been sick if you woke up a hand.
I would have been.
Glad you didn't.
Say that again?
Well, we're counting it as pre-flop is the best.
The nuts right now.
Deuces are 13th best hand, technically. Right.
13 pairs.
Technically the
That's number 14,
14th,
number
so,
15. Well, it's in order of the nuts right now, it is.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, hello.
Oh my goodness. Queen on the flop.
Seems reasonable.
Club to go, 2 clubs to go with it too.
Wow.
He could just turn.
I think it's going to come 3 deuce.
Everybody at the table not happy about this flop. That'll do it for AJ.
8.
Sucking out on the ace king in a crucial moment in the tournament.
Ace king not doing well versus ace queen today.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Wow. That's huge.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
Poor Edward.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's a
type of
tough one.
person, like especially when I'm sitting right next to the person I just doubled up who sucked out on me. I have this like habit of just staring at their stack and imagining it on top of my stack.
If he had won
In
that
pain.
pot, he would have between 17 and 18 million, I believe. That's drawing quite close to a average final table stack.
Worth so much money.
Yeah.
Very
All of these pots
painful.
worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands in equity.
Some classic small blind versus big blind hands in the mix here. Serhi flopping the best of it.
Being with that important 3 card to a straight flush type of hand. He also has absolutely no showdown value. This makes for a nice bet here.
Yeah. Serhi doing well to check it over to him. Make that extra 200K minimum.
Serhi might be loving the fact that he gets to
Stall.
spend the maximum amount of time on every street as he check calls his opponent down. With the best hand, too. Doesn't hurt. Ooh, Biyun. 10 of hearts on the turn. Interesting set of decisions in front of him. He has 5 high, and he's picked up equity, so betting makes a lot of sense. However, it is a little scary to bet against a stack size like Serhi's, because if Serhi were to find a shove, it's a small disaster to have to bet fold away a flush draw. That said, when Serhi just check calls the flop, probably not sitting on a lot of hands that will be shoving the turn. Almost no hands, so Biyun can feel like he can bet with some amount of impunity. The 10 is also a nice card for Biyun to bet because it represents another overcard to the 8 and 3, which Serhi is also check calling, most likely. Now, this size, a little polarizing. Maybe Biyun doesn't have too many 10s that he bets this size. Oh, Jack of Hearts on the river. Maybe it's Biyun's world and we're all just living in it. Have to imagine Brian is picking the all-in size here almost exclusively. And if and when he does, this is just an awful spot for Serhi. He has top pair but no relevant blockers. Would probably highly prefer heroing it off with something like Ace 10, Ace of Hearts,
5 million.
Queen Jack, Queen of Hearts, those sort of holdings. 10, 9, 9 of Hearts. Some of those hands, of course, a bit difficult to arrive at the river with. This is one of those runouts where you just kind of wonder where everything went wrong. This is such a difficult spot. Serhi probably running through the possibilities that his opponent has. How many flushes take this exact line? Does he ever have a straight here, or does he check back the flop quite often with Queen 9? What are his bluffs? Does he have something like 7-6 with a heart? Queen 7 with a heart. Those sort of things.
What's the going rate? It was 100 earlier. They're probably like 300 now. Can I like decide when I'm in the hand if I want to buy one? Like,
Depends how big the pot is.
yeah, it might be 1,000. The going rate might be 1,000.
These are the spots we all just hate so much.
Thank you. So you just checked it. Tell me.
Nice
There he
job.
goes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well done, Sari.
He understands that his stack situation is quite different.
Yeah, not a lot of room for creativity post-flop when you're sitting on 15 blinds.
You're just risking so much for not much of a reward as compared to earlier. 25K increase for the next person, and then after that, every 4 people or so until the final table, they get a 30K plus increase in the payout. So it'll come very quickly once this sort of mini bubble bursts. Serhi looking down at a real hand now. Ace queen offsuit from the cutoff. 3.6 million in the stack. Players are getting used to his pre-flop tanking, but this time he actually is going to get involved with a limp. Are you surprised?
A little bit. This is the first limp
All day,
outside
besides
of
in
the
the
small
blinds?
blind, yeah, that we've seen. It's certainly a nice spot for it. On a pay jump bubble, sort of a stack size that might benefit from limping, allowing you to play the maximum number of hands, theoretically. Nikita deciding if it's worthwhile to complete. He decides no. You have some fairly strong hands,
Right.
considering.
For a limped pot. I think he is just adjusting to his stack size and the moment in the tournament.
Some really beautiful PLO hands amongst
Wow,
these three
what
players.
a flop. Biyun flopping a gutter to a straight flush. Chris with top pair, jack kicker. Serhi still with the ace high. Shriveled up on this flop, especially 3 ways. Little does he know that their hands are so strong
Yeah,
in this limped pot, but still.
probably one of the worst flops for him to see with ace queen, no diamonds. He checks it over. I wonder how Biyun approaches this, because if you start betting, obviously you can bet your hand. You have a very strong hand with a lot of equity, but if you start betting, your opponent's calling ranges start to become a king or better quite quickly. And you'd actually like to keep your opponents kind of wide so that your queen and 10 as outs are good more often. Clearing out equity, of course, great as well.
And yeah, this is no fun if you're Serhi.
Sari is back to tank folding, I think. Kind of all you can do.
I mean, you're in a 3-way pot and you look to your left and it's Brian Yoon. You look to your right, it's Chris frickin' Mormon. It's like, I'm going to get out of the way
You
with
look
my
across
ace
the
high.
table and it's Mikita Badziakowski.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
It's rough stuff, man.
yeah.
Even picking up some showdown value. Interesting decision point against the checked back big blind, because Chris can have a number of hands like King 4 that betting would achieve folds against. That said, you have middle pair. You're pretty happy to get the showdown. Just beat all the 9s and 8s that might have called you.
And now Mormon with the decision on the 8 of spades river.
Yeah, Mormon has a king whose kicker plays, and that's very valuable on this run out.
Yeah, if you tuned in during the middle of this hand, this was a limped pot originally.
Not that Biyun's playing many kings whose kicker doesn't play, but he might slide in there.
Yeah, he might
The
he
suited
might
king
peel
of
with it.
Nana.
Yeah, suited king to a limp from the cutoff. He's on the button. He might just toss in the two chips.
It's possible. How likely, I'm not sure, but it's Biyun we're talking about.
Yeah. Nice fold, Brian.
Yeah, great fold. Just identifying that once Mormon's check called the flop is very difficult.
Oh yeah. You know, like,
All of
it's
them.
like a little triangle, isn't it? They're also-
Budapest is great, yeah.
Yeah, Budapest is great. Prague.
Bratislava too.
Yeah.
Prague, yeah. They have all like the same architecture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're cool. There's a lot of poker players in Vienna, isn't there?
Couple.
Of hundreds. Thousands, isn't there?
I mean, it's definitely over 100.
Oh yeah,
I take the over on that.
so easy. Is there a casino there?
It is, yeah.
Was it a Spielbank or something?
Casino Austria.
Casino Austria.
Spielbank is Germany.
That's Berlin, isn't it? Spielbank.
Fabian in the mix here again with Jack 10 suited under the gun, raising it up to 500.
One of the greats from Vienna.
If we were to find out that Fabian's favorite hand was Jack 10 suited, I would not be surprised.
What? I thought it was King 4 or King 6 suited.
That's a good point. The suited king's got to be in there. Mr. Chen, ace queen. Button versus early position. You could certainly peel here. 32 big blinds deep. That's exactly what he does. I think on average we've seen some really high level pre-flop decisions across the day. Ryan in the mix. Pocket threes, hoping to flop a set.
Oh,
And he does. What a feeling.
if Fabian decides to c-bet this, we could get some spicy turn cards when the pot gets big.
Absolutely. And if you're Fabian, this feels like a nice board to c-bet. Your hand doesn't have any showdown value. You have all the backdoors imaginable.
And you get a lot of better hands to fold.
Yeah, 2 overcards to top pair.
Yeah.
Feels great as well. Mr. Chen not ready to go anywhere.
Ryan, double checking, make sure you have a set.
Because Mr. Chen called in between, Ryan might feel compelled to raise here. Oh no, he plays it slowly. This is going to work out fantastically. Look at that turn. If you could drop a turn card
Wow.
outside of the Queen of Clubs, which feels a bit greedy to ask for the viewer's pleasure. I don't think there'll be a better one than the Queen of Diamonds. Something's going on here.
Going out to the outer table, we have Robert Sherwood with King 10 off against Elvin's pocket 10s, all in pre. Flop comes out Jack high. Another Jack on the turn.
Dealers, is anybody's tablet not yeah, my boy.
Clean river for Elvin. He's going to double up
There
through
it is.
Robert Sherwood, who we had on our feature table for the first 3 hours of the day. can see he's doubling up to still a short stack.
Workable, though. Over 10 big blinds now.
Definitely workable.
He was quite short before that. What is happening here? It looks like it's checked around
And now, oh
to
no.
Mr. Chen.
No, it wasn't.
Oh no, Fabian fired a second barrel.
Yeah, with the open ender, he decides to go for it again. Obviously, with the queen coming on the turn, Huabao feeling great about ace queen, makes the call, and now Ryan is sitting here with bottom set still. Decides to move all in for 5.5 million.
Yeah, Ryan decides the best route to getting value
Snap
from a queen
called.
is firing it in right now, as well as denying equity to a number of draws or charging them. And he's just
Huabao.
loving life. Absolutely
dead.
loving life.
Huge pot.
Oh no. Jack 10 got there, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
So sick.
Sorry for the swearing production team.
We're all very offended
What?
over here, Ryan.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
Thank you so much.
Raise 500,000.
Andrea has amassed a big enough stack that he's got min-raise options now. I like this. I'm a big fan of Andrea. He's always been such a nice guy at the table. Carries himself really well. Just super easy to root for. Always great sportsmanship. Oof. Mr. Chen finding that ever important playable hand in the big blind. Unfortunately for him, he's dominated. Wonder how Andrea plays this. You expect to see a continuation bet, but it's a bit awkward with a hand like ace-9. If you bet, let's say, one big blind, your opponent goes all in.
Yeah, you're not loving it.
You really hate both options.
Wow. Andrea bets. What about quick call
That call
With-
was so fast.
with the 9-7? I don't even know if Andrea got the rest of his bet out before Mr. Chen. It's like,
Yeah. I think maybe Huabao led with how fast he called that. Speaking of leading, 6 on the turn, and not the worst card for Huabao to potentially lead on. It goes check, check. Now he's going to presumably bluff. You have to imagine that was the plan. Do you say all in?
wow.
Disgusting spot for Andrea. This is very weird.
This is...
Because if your opponent did have a 6 or a queen, wouldn't you expect them to just check jam the flop? There's so few chips behind. And protecting your equity when you have a 6 or ensuring that you get all the chips in the pot when you have a queen seems really important. So you start to think, oh, he just lets it go.
Goodness. Who about Chen?
You never expect your opponent to float with the 9-7 there.
At every turn, he has been a wild man.
Yeah.
So much fun to watch.
Got Jeff up. I got Jeff up.
That was the gift for you. I played that game so long.
Would love to get one more day.
With flip flop, I could phone.
4 raises.
Yifu in the mix with the queen nine offsuit from the hijack.
Let's go Yifu.
He came to play.
This was rather unexpected. He may get punished here. Although he just seems to have this tight image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chow kicks it in. Ryan going nowhere with the A7 suited. He will be peeling.
Ooh. Moving to the outer table where we see on a board of king 8, 7, 8, 6, 3 spades. Looks like Serhi had trip 8s and B Yoon rivered a flush. The ace high flush on the river.
Jeez.
Looks like Serhi had checked it to B Yoon, who bet. Serhi moved all in on that river. Obviously got snap called by B Yoon with the ace king of spades.
Ryan has to have a pile at this point, right?
That
it looks
is
like he lost a
massive.
lot of chips before that hand, though.
So Serhi going out
Oh no, look at this
in
flop.
22nd place.
This could easily be the end for Yifu. Ryan just calls. Maybe a check back in order for Yifu at this point.
Pretty squarely in the middle, middling hands.
You really want to be careful on these monotone boards. And now Yifu has the type of hand that's not really particularly thrilled to go 3. So pot controlling makes a lot of sense on the turn when you have the 9 of hearts yourself. A lot of river coverage. He just bets now.
670.
I wonder if Ryan sniffs this out, because this really feels like the type of bet size that's followed up by a check back on the river, like your opponent's just trying to control the size of the pot, get a cheap showdown. If that's the case, Ryan may want to raise right now.
1.5.
Yeah, this is nice. Really nice by Ryan.
Is there a world in which Yifu gets away from this now?
That's all.
No.
Once you put that amount of chips in, it's going to be a lot harder to fold river. That said, you have a very clear bluff catcher and nothing more. So you have to ask how often your opponent actually takes this line as a bluff. Does he have enough bluffs here? I don't know. Does he ever play the bear ace of hearts this way? The bear king of hearts? Maybe.
Ryan, acting like he's got a hard decision. Tossing in a time bank chip.
All in.
There's the all in.
Oh boy. I'm Yifu. I might just be tossing all of those chips in there. Those time chips.
All those time bank chips.
Yeah. It's tricky. You have a great bluff catcher, but you need your opponent to have enough bluffs. Oh, he calls it off.
Oh,
Sorry, buddy.
Yifu gonna see the bad
Set?
news, and
Oh.
that is all she wrote
Listen.
for Yifu going out in 21st.
Especially after now you call with king ace of hearts.
But there was 10 bigs, and earlier was 20 big.
I know. And it was on a bubble.
Like folded king queen off. All my friends said I'm stupid. But you had an ace,
King
right?
queen off, you nit.
I'm a net. No. I actually.
But there is the
have my reasons
possibility
for
that I was
I
lying.
used a time bank for like a 12 big blind.
Sometimes
blind
I do
versus
lie.
blind shove with ace 5 off, just because I thought the dude was never shoving with anything.
I thought he never jams king jack there on the page. Maybe he does king jack.
Yes, I do.
That's about it.
But that's it. I don't show king 10.
No.
This table is feeling the end of the day. They're starting to get excited about it.
You always have an ace in the small line, huh?
There's
Most
this
of the time.
there's this type of
You mean now?
camaraderie in the
Yeah,
air
generally speaking.
that you
Oh,
often
it's when
feel
you're
at
done.
bag time.
I mean,
When everyone's
King eight
bagging
suited
up
should
and
be
you can
really
finally
good
take that
this
sigh of relief. But
Only most of the time.
for some, this might be an early celebration.
Well done.
I think generally the
done.
people talking are the bigger stacks.
Who about Chen? Here with the ace queen off.
We are on a direct one.
He loves tossing in the time bank chip before he actually needs it. It's really cute.
He does.
If he has a decision, he immediately is like, yes, give me 30 more seconds. He's got 2.9 million at big blind, 250K with ace queen off from the hijack. This is one of those situations we probably expect him to think for a little bit and put most of his chips. There he goes. He's got one chip behind. He's not technically all in.
Yeah, when you're on a short stack, these offsuited hands are often the best candidates for a shove rather than a small raise, as they just play a little bit worse post-flop. And they have slightly lower equity, so you want the higher equity hands to induce with.
I said no way. Because it took so long for everyone to bust from 24. We're like 24.
I could close now. Depends how quickly we get to 19.
Ooh, Joshua looks like he's about to flick some chips in here.
So if we get to 19, like in the next.
This would be a dream for Huabao.
Like we have a decent chance then. For sure. The next jump happens at 15. So yeah.
Wait, it's an F1 50.
Yeah. So.
Hey, that's good.
So
Yeah,
we get to
yeah, so
19,
now people just
that's the
drop out.
last
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
of the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So people just play normally.
Yeah, so play normally.
Oh no, here it is. He's called it off. Amazing situation for Huabao.
Yes, he's getting it in way ahead with the ace queen against Joshua's ace 8 offsuit.
Made the best player win. Oh, bullshit. It's safe.
I took Italian in high school.
What is it?
30K, the payout difference between going home in 20th and going home in 19th.
Honestly, it is his pay jump. He's
So,
gonna be lot
a little
better.
extra juice in this pot. The flop comes out 10-4-3. Very safe for Huabao.
Oh
8
no.
on the turn.
Ace-8 offsuit doing
Yes.
serious work today.
Second time we've had the 8 hit on the turn. He needs a queen to stay alive.
Wow, so sick.
So painful.
I
Worked
just
hard all
realized
day.
That it was page on
All
page
of those
that I called
bluffs.
there after I called.
All of those unorthodox lines that he's taken at our feature table.
Yeah.